Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. Well, that's our lesson for today. Lesson 112 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. Here on Saturday, April 22nd, Earth Day 2023. I'm reading out of the original edition in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students, and thank you all so much for joining me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me, are the two reviews, review 93 and 94. For morning and evening review, light and joy and peace abide in me. I am the home of light and joy and peace. I welcome them into the home I share with God because I am a part of Him. I am as God created me. I will remain forever as I was, created by the changeless like Himself, and I am one with Him, and He with me. On the hour, say, light and joy and peace abide in me, and then on the half hour, remind yourself, I am as God created me today. Okay, let's go look in our, let's go look in our text. We won't have to take long in our workbook. We'll sing that one when we come back to the workbook before we part today. But let's go take a look in the Fear of Redemption, which is section 3 in chapter 12, the problem of guilt. We're learning about the problem of guilt. While you're turning there, let me tell you what's going on around the world today. April Showers Day. It does look like rain today for me. Remember, I'm 3 days ahead of you though, so that I can get this thing uploaded by the day that you're doing it on the. Hopefully you're doing them, on the day. But it doesn't matter if you pick. Matter of fact, I just told someone yesterday they had quit studying the course. They got up to lesson 38, I think they told me, and they were kind of just not really. I said, well, it's just a matter when you decide that it's valuable, because that's what we're learning, that when you put something as valuable, you'll do it. Well, when you get back to when you decide that it's something that's worthwhile, your salvation, well then pick up on lesson 38 or 39. You don't have to go back to lesson 1. So there can be some pauses, but I'd encourage you just to go back to the last lesson you did and just move on. Chemists celebrate the Earth Day. This is Earth Day. Girl Scout Leaders Appreciation Day. Global Selfie Earth Day. And that's when, I think it was, just here recently, NASA sent up 5 satellites to take pictures of the Earth, and so they called it Global Earthy Selfie Day. In God We Trust Day, well, we want that to be every day, don't we? And just like we want every day to be Earth Day. International Marconi Day, one of the inventors of the radio. I think he got the credit for it, but I'm pretty sure that men like Tesla were already on it. International Mother Earth Day, just the UN sponsored it. Same thing, Earth Day. National Dance Day. All right, do some universal dances of peace. National Day of Puppetry. National Jelly Bean Day. Oklahoma Day. And that's when in the Dawes Act of 1889 they opened up Oklahoma, even though it was already Osage and who else? Quapaw, I think, land. They opened it up for other Indians. It caused quite an unrest. And then, I'm just telling you all this. Eid al-Fitr Day. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. That's the Islam day, the end of Ramadan. The blessed feast. It actually lasts for 3 days. So it is going on today on the 22nd. But it started on the night of the 20th, which was the end of Ramadan. Okay, so anyway, I hope you weren't waiting for me to change it, because you fasted a couple extra days. Okay. Let's take a look now at a particular grape that I want to talk to you about. And why grape? I've got this apple tree that I'm getting ready to plant. It's an Arkansas black apple, blooming already, smells wonderful. The apple blossoms, bees love it. And anyway, what I'm planning to do is plant a grape at the base of each of my apple trees and then train them to get as much light as possible by the way I prune the apple and prune the grape, and have them be a symbiotic relationship with the other plants in that little grouping. So anyway, just kind of a fun thing I like to do. Concord Grape, famous Welch grape. Okay, Concord is disease resistant and easier to grow than most grapes. Well, that's nice to know. The Concord Grape may need a few sprays to look like store-bought, but grapes look fine for home use. And those sprays don't have to be caustic. You know, they can be natural. Space 8 to 10 feet apart on trellises with 10 foot between rows. Grape clusters can also be bagged. Put them in a paper sack, and that'll keep the funguses from eating them up. Zones 5 through 7A, so real good here in the Ozarks. And that is your, what is the genus and species of a Concord or grape in general? Vitus labrusca, or labrusca might be. You've heard of the labrusca wine. It's one of the few wines that it's kind of a sweet wine that my first wife and the mother of my children, Diane, actually would drink a little, very little. Okay, the fear of redemption. Paragraph 10. You may wonder why it is so crucial that you look upon your hatred and realize its full extent. You may also think that it would be easy enough for the Holy Spirit to show it to you and dispel it without the need for you to raise it to awareness yourself. Yet there is one more complication which you have interposed between yourself and the atonement, which you do not yet realize. We have said that no one will countenance fear if he recognizes it. Yet in your disordered state you are not afraid of fear. You do not like it, but it is not your desire to attack which really frightens you. You are not seriously disturbed by your hostility. You keep it hidden because you are more afraid of what it covers. Wow. 11. You could look even upon the ego's darkest cornerstone without fear if you did not believe that without the ego you would find within yourself something you fear even more. You are not afraid of crucifixion. Your real terror is of redemption. Oh my, we're twisted. Under the ego's dark foundation is the memory of God, and it is of this that we are really afraid. The memory of God we're afraid of. For this memory would instantly restore you to your proper place, and it is this place that you have sought to leave. Whoa, let's listen to this. Your fear of attack is nothing compared to your fear of love. That's the first sentence in paragraph 12. Your fear of attack is nothing compared to your fear of love. Remember, we're looking at things upside down from the ego's or the world's perspective. And we're trying to flip ourselves right side up and see things in a right order. It might be a nice time to let me just tell you about a man I listened to on YouTube. I've been listening to near-death experiences where people have come back, and it's just remarkable. The one thing they all seem to be pretty much in common is this sense of belonging, of peace, of love, of bright light, beauty. And this doctor, struck by lightning, leaves us the secret of creation. That's the title of the YouTube. It's Tony Sikoria is his name, and he's an orthopedic surgeon. And the thing about it, he got struck by lightning as he was on the telephone. The lightning popped out and got him. And he immediately started looking at things, and he tells a really wonderful story. But the main thing he noticed is that he was totally conscious without the body. And he thought that was like very, very important information to help us all to realize there's really no death. It's just consciousness being, we're always conscious, or we can become conscious. We can sleep too, you know. Anyway, I liked it and thought it might be helpful for us to recognize that we're not a body. It's what the Course is trying to teach us, this realization that we're not a body, we're the eternal spirit, one with God. Your fear of attack is nothing compared to your fear of love. You would be willing to look even upon your savage wish to kill God's Son if you did not believe that it saves you from love. For this wish caused the separation. You have protected it because you do not want the separation healed. And you realize that by removing the dark cloud that obscures it, your love for your Father would impel you to answer His call and leap into heaven. You believe that attack is salvation to prevent you from this. For still deeper than the ego's foundation, and much stronger than it will ever be, is your intense and burning love of God and His for you. This is what you really want to hide, because if you felt that intense burning of God's love for you and your love for Him, you wouldn't hesitate a moment. And that's what almost all the near-death people say. They say, "Oh, we don't want to go back. This is too beautiful." Paragraph 13. In honesty, is it not harder for you to say I love than I hate? You associate love with weakness and hatred with strength, and your own real power seems to you as your real weakness. For you could not control your joyous response to the call of love if you heard it, and the whole world you think you control would vanish. The Holy Spirit then seems to be attacking your fortress, for you would shut out God, and He does not will to be excluded. The Holy Spirit then seems to be attacking your fortress, for you would shut out God, and He does not will to be excluded. So the Holy Spirit works for Him to make sure that He's not excluded. You have built your whole insane belief system because you think you would be helpless in God's presence, and you would save yourself from His love because you think it would crush you into nothingness. You are afraid it would sweep you away from yourself and make you little, for you believe that magnitude lies in defiance and that attack is grandeur. You think you have made a world which God would destroy, and by loving Him, which you do, you would throw the world away, which you would. Let's listen to that again. You are afraid God's presence, His love, would sweep away from yourself and make you little. Let's read that. Let's start at the beginning of paragraph 14. You have built your whole insane belief system because you think you would be helpless in God's presence and would save yourself from His love because you think it would crush you into nothingness. You are afraid it would sweep you away from yourself and make you little, for you believe that magnitude lies in defiance and that attack is grandeur. You think you have made a world which God would destroy, and by loving Him, which you do, you would throw this world away, which you would. Therefore, you have used the world to cover your love, and the deeper you go into the blackness of the ego's foundation, the closer you come to the love that is hidden there. And it is this that frightens you. Oh my. Paragraph 15. You can accept insanity because you made it, but you cannot accept love because you did not. You did not make love. You can accept insanity because you made it. But you cannot accept love because you did not. You would rather be slaves of the crucifixion than sons of God in redemption. For your individual death is more valued than your living oneness. And what is given you is not so dear as what you made. You are more afraid of God than of the ego, and love cannot enter where it is not welcome. But hatred can, for it enters of its will and cares not for yours. Paragraph 16. The reason you must look upon your delusions and not keep them hidden is that they do not rest on their own foundation. In concealment they appear to do so. In concealment they appear to do so, and thus they seem to be self-sustained. This is the fundamental illusion on which they rest. For beneath them, and concealed as long as they are hidden, is the loving mind that thought it made them in anger. And the pain in this mind is so apparent when it is uncovered that its need of healing cannot be denied. Not all the tricks and games you offer it can heal it, for here is the real crucifixion of God's Son. 17. And yet he is not crucified. Here is both his pain and his healing, for the Holy Spirit's vision is merciful, and his remedy is quick. Do not hide suffering from his sight, but bring it gladly to him. We need to learn to do that, not to avoid or avoid is really what I see I do a lot, but we don't want to avoid or keep our problems from awareness, from the light of the Holy Spirit's guidance. Do not hide suffering from his sight, but bring it gladly to him. Lay before his eternal sanity all your hurt, and let him heal you. Do not leave any spot of pain hidden from his sight, and search your minds carefully for any thoughts which you may fear to uncover. For he will heal every little thought which you have kept to hurt you, and cleanse it of its littleness, restoring it to the magnitude of God. Beneath all your grandiosity, which you hold so dear, is your real call for help. For you call for love to your Father, as your Father calls you to himself. For you call for love to your Father, as your Father calls you to himself. In that place which you have hidden, you will only to unite with the Father in loving remembrance of him. Again on that sentence. In that place which you have hidden, you will only to unite with the Father in loving remembrance of him. In that place which you have hidden inside, that you're not even aware of it until you get still and quiet and look into the unwatched mind. And look what you find. You want to give it to the Holy Spirit. In that place which you have hidden, you will only, I'm going to get this right in a minute. In that place which you have hidden, you will only to unite with the Father in loving remembrance of him. You will find this place of truth as you see it in your brothers. You will find this place of truth as you see it in your brothers. For though they may deceive themselves, like you, they long for the grandeur that is in them. And perceiving it, you will welcome it, and it will be yours. For grandeur is the right of God's Son, and no illusions can satisfy him or save him from what he is. Only his love is real, and he will be content only with his reality. Save him from his illusions, that you may accept the magnitude of your Father in peace and joy. Save your brother from his illusions. See the Christ in him. Do that true namaste greeting in your mind, even if you don't do it verbally. Save him from illusions, that you may accept the gratitude of your Father in peace and joy. But exempt no one from your love, or you will be hiding a dark place in your mind where the Holy Spirit is not welcome. And you will exempt yourself from his healing power, for by not offering total love, you will not be healed completely. Healing must be as complete as fear, for love cannot enter where there is one spot of fear to mar its welcome. Wow. Love cannot enter where there is one spot of fear to mar its welcome. Paragraph 20. You who prefer specialness to sanity. You who prefer specialness to sanity. Oh, you talking to us in our sleeping state? You who prefer specialness to sanity could not obtain it in your right minds. You were at peace until you asked for special favor, and God did not give it, for the request was alien to him, and you could not ask this of a father who truly loved his son. Therefore you made of him an unloving father, demanding of him what only such a father could give. And the peace of God's Son was shattered, for he no longer understood his father. He feared what he had made, but still more did he fear his real father, having attacked his own glorious equality with him. 21. In peace he needed nothing and asked for nothing. In war he demanded everything and found nothing. Listen to that. In peace, the Son of God needed nothing and asked for nothing. In war he demanded everything and found nothing. For how could the gentleness of love respond to his demands except by departing in peace and returning to the Father? For how could the gentleness of love respond to his demands except by departing in peace and returning to the Father? To wait till you're ready. Remember, he says he'll wait. If the Son did not wish to remain in peace, he could not remain at all. For a darkened mind cannot live in the light, and it must seek a place of darkness where it can believe it is where it is not. God did not allow this to happen, yet you demanded that it happened and therefore believed that it was so, even though it wasn't. And the last paragraph that will finish this section, 22. To single out is to make alone, and thus make lonely. God did not do this to you. Could he set you apart, knowing that your peace lies in his oneness? He denied you only your request for pain, for suffering is not of his creation. Having given you creation, he could not take it from you. He could but answer your insane request with a sane answer which would abide with you in your insanity. And this he did. No one who hears his answer but will give up insanity, the Holy Spirit's voice. For his answer is the reference point beyond delusions from which you can look back on them and see them as insane. But seek this place, and you will find it, for love is in you and will lead you there. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Okay, well, let's go take a look in our lesson again today. And a couple things I just want to tell you. I made me a little bamboo, whatever you call these, bandana slides. Hold it on there. Here on Earth Day, I trimmed all my bamboo down to the ground so that it would all come back fresh. I had a bunch of dead in there, and I wanted to use it all in the garden. Wonderful. And then this apple, or this malice tree, that's a genus. Malus domestica is an apple. I just wanted to, I guess I just wanted to tell you, it's time, plant some apples. Apples and grapes. You can plant everything now. Right now, this is the time. I say you can plant everything. Yeah, it's last frost is over. You can plant your corn. You can plant everything out. I'm getting ready to plant my tomatoes out now. They got pretty big in the house in the south window. And my peppers. Okay, lesson 112. Light and joy and peace abide in me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am the home of light and joy and peace. I welcome them into the home I share with God because I am part of Him. Light and joy and peace abide in me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. I am as God created me. I will remain forever as I was created by the changeless like Himself. And I am one with Him and He with me. I am as God created me. I will remain forever as I was created by the changeless like Himself. And I am one with Him and He with me. I am as God created me. I am as God created me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. So at the top of the hour today, remind yourself, light and joy and peace abide in me. And if you can, take a moment, close your eyes and let it settle into the events of the moment. And then on the half hour, at the bottom of the hour, you might say, I am as God created me. And again, if you can, close your eyes for a moment and breathe in the peace of God and let go of all your agitation and upset, knowing that God is completely trustworthy. And that love that unites you with Him, feel it, experience it. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me.